It's a special day, which means we gotta have a special drink. You guessed it, Natty Light. Hit the spot. Welcome, all fellow wannabes. Welcome to my channel. I am Gabriel Fast. I do claim to be the wannabe critic. Usually I'm in like a band tee and a cap. I'm dressed up because it's a special occasion. 1 year ago to the day is whenever I put out my very first YouTube video. So what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to rewatch that. I haven't watched it since the day I put it out, kind of give my commentary on it, and then after kind of tell you what was going on in my mind, what I've learned in this year, as well as thanking a few people, and then kind of discussing what the fate of the channel is. So without further ado, let's watch that first video really fast. Well, here we go. Let's take a look at what's changed, things that I noticed. I haven't watched this since the day I put it out, so it'll be interesting to see how much if I'm gonna cringe or anything like that. So let's take a look.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel.
The classic "What's up, everyone?" Someone approached me and said, "Hey, can you not say that every single time? Because if you go back and watch my videos, that's something I started every single video with, and it is true. Like, everybody does that. Like, so many YouTubers watch their stuff and are like, 'What's up, everyone?' So I had to like figure out something else that was kind of along the same lines. But that's funny watching this back and seeing the 'What's up, everyone?' Yet again. Oh, Gabe, there's so many things I wish I could tell you.
I am Gabriel Fast, and I am the wannabe critic. This is my very first YouTube video. It's my first time really trying my hand at it, trying to...
Shout out to Jump Cuts.
Get this whole video editing thing down. I wanted to start a YouTube because if you know me, which you probably don't, I like to talk a lot. I figured this would probably be a really good outlet to try my hand at it, and I've always wanted to learn how to do it, but I was afraid to, kind of put myself out there. I have a podcast called Geekly Biweekly. We'll put it right here.
Yo, like, I remember making that graphic and thinking like I could do anything because I had made that graphic and I learned how to use PicMonkey and all that stuff. It's really weird watching this back because to me, like, the audio isn't bad in this video. The music is way too loud, but it's just interesting to see like what the first creation actually looked like and how I can remember exactly what I was thinking after I made this video.
And where you can find that, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well, where we like to talk about a variety of things. I think it was my wife that was listening to me and a friend talk about Star Wars, and she said that we should start a podcast or start something to where people could hear us, and hear us talk about the things that we enjoy talking about. So we kind of ran with that idea. We did have a couple of rough patches where we weren't really able to keep up with the show, but I found that I really enjoyed doing it. I had been on podcasts in the past, and I thought, hey, I think I can do this. I think I can run my own show. So naturally, the progression was, it started just with the audio side of things, and now I'm trying my hand at the video side of things. So
it's interesting to me how Geekly Biweekly is now turned into the Wannabe Critic podcast, and also how just the overall aesthetic of the videos have changed. If you'll notice, like there was like almost nothing on my walls at that time, and now obviously things are way different. It's the same room, but it's interesting how when you change the way it looks, how much more confident you can be in your own content. So it's interesting looking back and seeing how I was confident in this, but knew something that needed to change. The one thing I do miss is there was a lot of natural light that used to come into this room, but now I have a window right in front of me right now that literally has just been blacked out by soundproofing. It's interesting just to see how much things have changed.
I said before, we started out just talking about Star Wars, but then it branched into, giving our thoughts on movies and video games and TV shows and things like that, and just pretty much all these things that we like to geek out about. We kind of ran with this idea of being called wannabe critics. I've always really liked that, so I think that's kind of the shtick I'm gonna go for. It's like I'm obviously a younger type of person. I haven't been around as long as maybe some of y'all, so I think I can give my perspective and have it still be respectable and respected. Some of the things that I think I would like to talk about on the show would primarily be music, video games, movies, and among other things. It just depends on what happens with this. I think a goal that I think I would like to set for myself going forward, I'm going to try and give myself a year and see, you know, what can I get accomplished after a year? What does my future look like in a year? And things like that. So I think what I'd like to do is make one video per week, whether it's discussing a movie I've seen, a game I've played, a song or an album I've listened to, or a comic I've read. So it would mean a lot to me if you would be my first subscriber. I'm not really sure how it works, actually. I think you subscribe, and then you always are subscribed to me, but if you click the bell, then that means you'll be alerted every time I post a new video. And by all means, if you want to hear me talk about a specific thing, I would be more than happy to give my opinion on something that you have a strong opinion about or something that you're passionate about. I really got inspired to do this, you know, by watching other people that inspired me, and, you know, just being able to see them openly express themselves, or maybe come out of a shell that they have been in for quite some time, or maybe they're not really like that in real life, but being on camera really brings out a different side of them that's appealing to me. That made me feel like I can do that exact same thing in a similar fashion and potentially have the same effect on somebody else is the goal. I loved podcasting, and that was really the first step in this, and as you can probably tell, I really like to hear myself talk. So some of my favorite YouTubers that I really enjoyed watching along the way, I think one is definitely Jeremy Johns, 2, Wood Beat 'em Ups, 3, everybody loves PewDiePie, don't hate on PewDiePie, 4, Chris Stuckman. I've just more recently found him and been watching his videos. I really like the way he does his reviews and things like that. It's very interesting, very easy to watch. And there's countless others that I've watched that have really inspired me to want to create my own channel and to do something similar. I love to talk on subjects. I love to reason on subjects. I love to look at both sides of a subject.
In so many ways, it feels like I accomplished everything that I set out to do in 1 year. And I've learned so much. Like, it's crazy to be reacting to this and kind of breaking it apart, because literally every single little goal that I put out to do, I did it. And that's an incredibly satisfying feeling to watch back and know exactly how I was feeling at that time period, which was not good, and really just pouring my heart into this. And it's really cool to watch this.
And kind of pick apart both sides. You know, it's like, oh, I can see where this guy's coming from, and I can also see where this guy's coming from, and kind of find my way in the middle of that, you know, somehow. So, prepare yourself for a plethora of hot takes and potentially unpopular opinions.
And that's where it came from.
Because I am Gabriel Fast, and I will always be a wannabe critic.
I hope I don't sound pretentious by saying this, but I'm actually really happy with the way that first video turned out. Yeah, the camera quality was poor, and yeah, there wasn't really anything great to look at in the background. It wasn't very aesthetically pleasing, but I still think I got my message across. And what's interesting is all those goals that I set out to do, I did. I wanted to make one video per week for a year, and now I've made almost 100, which is kind of a crazy thing to me. But I still have so much to learn. I have so many different ideas and so many places that I want to go. And the bottom line is I don't expect to ever get famous doing this. I just genuinely love doing it. It's great to be able to show people what I can do just in case, jobs ever do come across, my desk, so to speak. And some people have reached out to me just assuming that I know a lot about video and have asked me to do other video jobs for them, which is a really cool thing that I've been able to do. I was able to shoot someone's wedding. That's a huge honor just because I make YouTube videos. Beer Bros was an awesome experience as well because it helped me get comfortable on camera. And I feel like giving my opinions week to week on the hottest music that had come out, or maybe even just music that I really liked that had come out recently, really helped me solidify my own opinion and stand on my own 2 feet whenever someone would ask me a question, or even whenever I would host my podcast. It just really helped me in a lot of ways to become a better personality, I would say, on camera and on my podcast. It all really started with podcasting. I've talked about this before. I was giving guitar lessons on the side, and I still give guitar lessons on the side. But about a year ago, a lot of my students all quit at the same time. We were all kind of involved in an event that was going on that summer, and it had really taken up a lot of our time, and we had been missing quite a bit of lessons around that time anyways. And as school was starting up, a bunch of them kind of were having the same mindset of, this is taking up too much time, the music lessons are probably going to have to stop. That was really depressing for me, because it's not often that people get to do a job that they really, really love. And I really, really loved giving music lessons, and still do. I have a few students that have stuck with it, and it's been great. But this really gave me an opportunity to really throw myself into learning how to use a camera, learn how to use OBS, and learn how to use all these different programs, because now the amount of content that I push out really is surprising to me, because it's just something that I really love doing, and I really want to keep doing it. The goal was to do one video a week and see where we were at a year from then. Now looking at almost 100 videos on just this channel alone, and starting up a second channel that has over 30 videos, not to mention a subscriber count that I wasn't expecting, the goal being 100 subscribers in a year, I now have over 200. It just makes too much sense to keep this going. There's also some serious thank yous that are in order as well. My biggest thank you has to go out to my wife, who has been supporting me pretty much this entire time. Anytime I ever got an idea for something, she always gave me good feedback. She always let me know if she thought it was a good idea or not. She always made sure that she was being real with me, and she's kept me grounded this whole time. She's never once said anything to discourage me from doing this. All she's ever asked is that I keep it balanced, keep it in check, keep it in its right place. And she knows that I'm wanting to pursue this as a career, but she's right, it still has to be balanced. So she has been the biggest support to me, and is really a big driving force for me even doing this, because I'm always kind of hoping that, you know, I might impress her with my videos or something like that. So there's that. So thank you so much, Emma. I love you, and I couldn't imagine doing this without you. Also, just another quick shout out to people who have helped me along the way to make my content better looking and sound better, and just given me ideas. For instance, my friend Aaron, who, whenever he does watch my videos, approaches it with a proper eye for attention to detail, and really would let me know if I could, you know, color correct better, or, you know, make my edits a little cleaner, things like that. That's meant the world. Another person like that is a more recent friend. His name's Bodie. If you're watching this, thank you so much for the critiques and just the way you've helped me, like, color correct things and just be more professional looking. It's really gone a long way. I also want to thank my brother Carter for giving me some of the dopest music that anyone could ever ask for in a video. For those of you who don't know, all of the music we use in my videos, all the music that I use on Wannabe Critic Productions for the podcast, and all the music that I use for my YouTube videos, Carter made that. Like, that's all Carter. A lot of the heart and soul of this project comes from that music, and there's sometimes whenever I'm editing a video and I'm like, this is trash, until I add the music. So thank you so much, Carter, for adding another layer to this project in a way that I never could. There's no way I could have done that. So thank you so much. And then also, I have to say thank you to not only the people who approached my videos with a critical eye to give me good feedback that I didn't know, some of you subscribers that have given me good feedback, but also to the people who talked about me behind my back. Word gets around. You know, I'm not going to name names, obviously, because that would be weird, but I have to say thank you for doubting me. Thank you for talking crap about me, because it only pushed me to be better. So thank you so much. To anyone who doesn't think that this is work, you're wrong. You are 1000% wrong. There are so many times that I don't even get to bed till 2 or 3 in the morning because I want this to be a thing. There are too many other YouTubers out there that are way better than me for me to not take this seriously if I really, really want to do it. So to anyone who thinks that this isn't a real career path, then you obviously haven't put very much time into researching what this even is with content creation. So I guess what I'm getting at is, I was going to ask myself the question at the end of the year, should I keep doing this? And I think the conclusion that I've come to is yes. But things are going to be a little bit different. The goal is always going to be one video per week, but I know that there's going to be times where I can't do that. I don't want to have to feel like this is a job I'm not getting paid for yet, in the wrong ways, if that makes sense. I still want to push myself to make out consistent content. But the fact of the matter is I have 4 podcast feeds, a YouTube channel for those podcast feeds, as well as the content that I do on this channel. By the way, if you want to check out the podcast, that'll be in the link down below. But the fact of the matter is I'm busy in a lot of different projects, and there's some projects that I really want to do that kind of go outside the realm of music. And if you look on my channel, I've been reviewing a lot of games lately. That's something that's a huge passion of mine. For those of you who don't know, I would really love to work in that industry someday. It is a very hard industry to get into, but my goal is to eventually get there, whether it be covering things on my channel or being a part of another project in some other way. It's something I really want to do, but I know it's going to be a long and slow process. I think the best way to do that is to continue to put out diverse content. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stepping a little bit away from music. I'm still going to review music, but only music that I really, really want to be a part of and that I'm passionate about. I'm still going to be working with Reckless Music and helping them review things because those guys are awesome and I love working with them. But I'm actually going to step into doing more movies and games, longer games. I'm going to be reaching out to developers for more review codes. That way I can kind of get hands-on with the game before it comes out. Doing that more and more is going to build up a reputation with those companies and potentially get me noticed. But I know it's going to take some time. So I'm officially saying that my next goal is by September of 2021, I want to have 500 subscribers. I think that's a decent goal, but it's not going to be easy. So hopefully with the thought in mind of not only diversifying my content even more, but really continuing to persist and making the quality even better, hopefully that will give me, enough of a scope to where I can keep going and to where I can keep getting those opportunities. Of course, the podcast is always still going to be a thing, and Beer Bros will return at some point. As far as things that I've learned, the biggest thing I can say is for anyone who's ever wanted to start a YouTube channel, just realize things are going to be, it changes. It changes so much. The ideas that you have in your mind, what you want to do, it evolves so fast. And don't be so stuck into one idea. A friend of mine, I have to thank, her name is Jamie French. She's an actual YouTuber. And she recently told me, if something feels like it's not working, then change what you're doing, which is a huge reason why, we talk about TV shows and movies on the podcast. Why can't I review those things on my YouTube channel? It just makes the most sense. That's what I spend most of my time talking about. And, music comes and goes, and it's so hit and miss with music. I would rather take a flop on a video of me reviewing a movie that came out 30 years ago than take a flop on a video of me reviewing music that just came out that week that I should be getting a lot of views on that I'm not. Because that's a really defeating feeling. So I guess, what I'm trying to get at is just making content that you really, really like is really what's going to keep you going. And that's whenever I've had the most fun doing it. Even if a video only got 30 or 40 views. If I really loved it and I was happy with the product, that was enough for me to make the next video. And that's the biggest thing I can say for anyone wanting to do this. Don't make content for anyone else but yourself first. Unless someone's paying you, then that's a different story. I'm happy with the amount of things I have going on. Some projects are wrapping up right now, which is freeing up a little bit of time, which is awesome. But I am always looking for that next thing. So if you've made it to the end of this video, I gotta say thank you so much. I hope you're gonna look forward to me reviewing more movies. The first movie review being my favorite movie of all time, Empire Strikes Back. If you have any recommendations of things you would like to see me talk about, don't be afraid to reach out in the comments. Also, if you want to hear a podcast, I guarantee if you go to wannabecritic.com and you check out all the different projects we have going on, there's gonna be something there for you. So in the end, I can say that it's been such a good year. It's been such a wild ride in a lot of ways, and it's been a lot of fun to make this project happen. And I'm hungrier than I've ever been to make good content, and I can't wait to get started on the next project and wrap up things currently that I have so that I can move on to the next thing. So I hope you can stick around. I hope you can offer suggestions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and sue me for wanting to pat myself on the back and say, hey, you did it. The thing you wanted to do, the goal you set a year ago, you did it. It just makes me really happy, and it makes me happy to continue making content. But I'm just getting started. So buckle up, because you're about to prepare yourselves for another year of a plethora of hot takes and potentially unpopular opinions. I'm Gabriel Fast. I will always be the wannabe critic.